Hey everyone, it's Bobby from Lyco Birds with another video in my Bird ID Through the Year series, and this one is going to cover Wilson Snipe versus American Woodcock. And both of these species are somewhat awkward looking shorebirds with pretty long bills, so I guess it's not too surprising that people confuse them sometimes. But the identification is pretty straightforward if you know what to look for, so let's just quickly go through the field marks. And we'll start with Wilson Snipe. And one of the main things you want to be looking for on these is the pale stripes that run along the back. And you can also see there's some pale stripes in the head as well. And notice that the stripes on the head run forward and backwards and not side to side. And Wilson Snipes also have streaking or barring on the underside, so you can see this sort of dense streaking here in the chest area that turns into more of this barred pattern in the flanks. And in terms of habitat, you're mostly going to find these in puddles or muddy areas. So a lot of times you'll flush them off a muddy bank in a wetland or something. And in this photo in the corner here, you can really see the pale stripes that run along the length of the body. So then let's compare that to American Woodcock. And these lack any pale stripes in the upper side, but they do have stripes across the head. But notice that they run across the head instead of along the head like they did on Wilson Snipe. In terms of plumage, they have a plainer orange or buffy underside, and they don't have streaking or barring like you saw on Wilson Snipe. And in terms of habitat, American Woodcock usually hangs out in brushy areas, oftentimes drier brushy areas compared to Wilson Snipe, although woodcocks do come out in the open when they're doing displays, or sometimes they just wander out into the open. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of these two. So on the Wilson Snipe on the left here, you can see the pale stripes that run along the head, plus pale stripes that run along the back, and they also have this dense streaking in the chest and barring in the flanks. And then on the woodcock on the right, you can see the pale stripes on the head run across, side to side, and not along the head, and it doesn't have any pale stripes here along the back. And I'll maybe just describe a typical encounter that you would have with both of these species. So with Wilson Snipe, there's kind of two situations where I run across them. Either I see them foraging out in the open in a muddy puddle, or more often I just don't see them at all and I'm walking along a wet or muddy spot and end up flushing one out of the puddle inadvertently. And when they flush, they usually give sort of a low call that almost sounds like a boot ripping out of the mud. And generally, they're just going to shoot off and they're not going to come back. With American Woodcock, sometimes I will flush one from a brushy area accidentally. And generally, all you really hear from them is the whistle in their wing that's very similar to when they're doing a display flight. Or most frequently, I will encounter them close to dusk when they actually are displaying. So as it gets close to dusk, a lot of times they'll start giving their peent call, and then they will go straight up into the air and kind of do a big circle and then land back down on the ground. And I will show a couple of clips of that display because that's really fun to watch. And definitely, if you've never experienced one in person, you should make it a goal to go out this spring and actually track down some displaying American Woodcock. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and if you haven't experienced it in person, I would strongly recommend trying to do that this year. It's a really fun experience. And as always, like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're interested in daily bird ID quizzes, you can sign up for that at lycobirds.com/email. It's free and easy to unsubscribe at any time. And I don't mention it on the channel too often, but our videos are all unsponsored, and a large percentage of the money that we use to fund the operations of Lyco Birds comes from our viewers. So if you're interested in helping to support our efforts, the information is on our website. You can go to lycobirds.com/about. And we're incredibly grateful to those of you who choose to contribute to allow us to continue making these videos. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.